Brian, you used to do a random fact at the end of every podcast. So for good time's sake, let's hear a random fact.
Dropping
and this
knowledge.
is from Shay Shay.
Yeah, dropping knowledge.
Dropping knowledge. It's a good. That's a good one. Boy, oh boy. I would say. Fuck. What's a good? What's
going on right now?
Dropping knowledge.
Good stat.
fact?
We kind of dropped knowledge on the last episode with the Biden cabinet. He has like really bad stage, whatever, bone cancer. It's in his bones, and they hit all of it.
Yeah, they hit all of it. I would say, I could talk about how I think that Biden cancer prognosis and how they hit it is a much bigger deal than it's being made out to be. And historians will look at the ramifications of that, the ripple effect of that, and the loss of trust.
And it hurts that whole cabinet
in
and
legacy
the left
media
way
too.
more.
Jack
way more.
Taper and all these guys who are writing their song.
He's sharp as a tack.
Yep.
He's so on.
They all knew better.
And I don't think Biden's the enemy here. I don't think he's the bad person. He's been made the scapegoat here. But I think Biden was just like, oh, okay, and they're propping this guy up. He's falling down stairs and shit. Imagine being his age and dealing with this.
I would say this. I think this is the biggest.
Just so they win.
The biggest worry about the biggest worry we have is corruption. I think that nowadays, people in power are able to get away with corruption and make themselves rich when in power way more than anybody else, and nobody can do anything about it. And let me give you an example.
Before you give the example, that's the problem, because I think now it's more prevalent and it's more out in the open how corrupt they are, and there's nothing we can do.
Nothing.
So we're very aware of all this shit. We're super aware of it, and the public knows, and there's nothing we can do.
And I blame Biden and I blame the Democrats, and here's why. The first thing the Democrats did was they allowed DAs to get really creative with the law and commit lawfare on a president and tried to destroy him. That was the first mistake, because that same weapon is going to be used against Democrats.
Of course,
right? And I think that's one of the bigger kind of things. But the biggest thing, I think, is when Biden preemptively pardoned all, including Anthony Fauci and everybody else who was in the administration.
His family.
When you pardon your son, who clearly violated the law, who clearly used his father to make it
and lied to the public.
And lied. We don't even know if Biden himself got running, but the Biden crime family, which you hear a lot, is a legitimate thing to say, especially when Biden preemptively pardons all these people. So what happens is this. If you don't think now Trump is going to preemptively pardon people if the Democrats look like they're going to win. So now when you're in an administration, you're even close to the administration, you can do anything you want. You can get as rich as you want, break all the laws you want, and you know that the president, especially if they're federal laws, the president is going to preemptively pardon you.
Because Biden set that standard.
That's right.
Now the rest of them go, okay.
That's right.
That's how this works.
That's right. And that's how the rule of law breaks down. Mm-hmm. This country is great because we're a rule of law. We're not ruled by man. When you say rule by man, that means that if you're close to the king, whether it's Putin or whatever, you get away with murder, literally. Well, you can't have that. And this country has always been a country of laws and checks and balances. And I think when a president like Biden preemptively pardons his son, even though he said he wouldn't, and he didn't stick to his word at all, I would think Joe Biden will go down as the most ineffective and worst president in many ways, because he lied, because of how the legacy media covered up for him, his cognitive decline, the people around him, including his wife and all the other people that stood to gain from him staying in power, they stayed because they were personally ambitious.
Correct.
And all of that shit is going to come back. You don't get away with that. Comes back to bite you in what and how the American public no longer trusts anything you fucking say.
Especially the left.
That's right.
It already has.
And
Good luck winning in 4 years. Good luck.
That's right. The left deserves everything they fucking sow. You reap what you sow.
Mm-hmm. What else you got?
So, here's one for the whole team. If there was any movie you could have been a lead character in, what would
Inglourious
it
Bastards.
Christoph Waltz, great role.
So which lead? Well, who's the lead in that technically?
Christopher Waltz.
Over Brad Pitt?
Yeah,
I think
he stole the movie.
Stole the show.
But Brad Pitt.
You'd have to speak 3 languages.
I know. I can't do any of that.
What year was Inglourious Bastards? This will blow your mind.
Shit. 2016?
How
2009 fucked me in the mouth.
2009. Now think about that. How many years ago was that?
One of my
That's crazy.
favorite movies of all time.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
Oh no, I would be Andy
16
Dufresne from
years ago.
Shawshank Redemption. Greatest movie of all time. Go down as the greatest of all time.
Great job. Yeah.
Bri.
I'd like to be Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison. I'd like to be Rambo, Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator, Arnold Schwarzenegger
Yeah.
in Commando would be lit. I'd like to be Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport only.
I think Christian Bale in American Psycho, the way he
Yes.
played it was so fucking like there was humor. You have to play everything. It's the spectrum. I'm not drawn to Daniel Day-Lewis, Christian Bale. They do too much to their body. It's too much. It's like or Joaquin Phoenix and the Joker. That's too much. I don't like that. I love when you get to tap into the evil, perverse side, and also when you play American Psycho, there's the whole spectrum. A little bit like almost like the Joker, the other Joker that
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger
Dark
played.
Knight.
There's something about those kind of characters that play this sort of perverse, comedic, marionette, this puppet that there's so many possibilities to fuck with. I like bad guys, but seductive bad guys, like Silence of the Lambs, those kind of things. Because somehow they're able to make you like them. You're able to say, that's my serial killer. He would never hurt me. It would be impolite. That's the genius of that role. The genius of Silence of the Lambs was that we, as an audience, at the end of the movie, were rooting for him. We were actually
never did.
rooting for him in a weird way. Like he got away,
But
and we
even
went.
Hannibal was good.
Yeah.
The Hannibal was really good when it came out years later.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know if we were rooting for him.
Well, he got away, and we were like, "I'm having an old friend for dinner," and somehow that guy who had tortured him in jail was the shithead.
He got away in Hannibal too. He's like, this is because remember she handcuffs him when the cops are there, and he grabs the knife and goes, "This is really gonna hurt." And it just cuts to him throwing down the knife, and you're like, "Oh, he cut his fucking arm off, or he cut her arm off and killed her." But he loved her so much he cut his arm off and
Yeah.
still escaped.
Yeah. And again,
So he's
there
still
was-
on the run technically.
But he had a code. There was something about him where it's like
He never killed her.
Right. He
Would
was
never
very
hurt her.
polite.
No.
He wouldn't eat me. He would
No, he
consider
loved
it
her.
impolite.
He loved her.
So somehow
It was
we're
great.
like, there. Somehow he was insane, but he had parameters
Yeah,
and rules. There was
yeah.
a discipline
He
to
was
his
great.
insanity, and we knew he was eating that bad guy. Yeah, we're like, oh. Yeah, it became. That's really hard to
Farva
pull
bean.
off. Yeah. Yeah.
He was so
Daniel
scary.
Day-Lewis in Gangs of New York was amazing.
Oh, the
You
butcher.
love that line.
I mean, he was
Just say
amazing.
the line.
The butcher.
Yeah.
No, say the line.
The rabbit. Yeah, he was amazing.
Great.
And he was so good because he was so good that DiCaprio couldn't even keep up with him. You weren't even rooting for DiCaprio anymore. You were only rooting
You were
for
rooting for the bat. You had.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
You couldn't take your eyes
Get
off.
yourself
him.
a good
His
piece of meat on the way out.
His eye.
Yeah, man.
It's great.
It's like a fist. Did that New York thing. Wow.